Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the Safe Shop memories. You see coloring right here. As you see right here, the coloring activity got right here is a Shop and Save bag. But if most of us are familiar with, you say that grocery store and Shop and Save it is, and you go ahead, you got right here is they got the parking lot, and then got a few other shopping centers at about right back in here. It is I went and drew, but you see from the hometown where I grew up at, of course, in St. Charles, Missouri, I can remember the store that I can remember my family and I used to go shopping there, and it's like we were at Shop and Save, and then of course they had a few other stores, down here it was, and if I can remember right, that just like over there off of say Junk Station Road, it was that the signs would be like what you call like a blueprint, I think it was. And right down here, down say about 2 blocks, from that street it was. I can remember that there was a McDonald's right here, but I can remember that there was a Kmart right down there. It was where you can go shopping. It was, and I think that was before that they had opened up the Big K. It's like for Big K Mart it is, and really that people probably thinking about it's like for Kmart it is that if there's ever been like any type of clothing store such as the big Quaz, the Quaz Mart, or if it was the Jazz Mart or anything like that. But anyway, but the guy right there is Kmart. It is, and basically I would probably think about it as like the names that they have for the stores. The grocery store, if it's a clothing store, it could have been named after somebody, or named after the previous owner it is, or something like that. It's like knowing about it's like for who owns the store it is. But it's like talking about it's like for for the marketing it is, for for the supermarket it is. But anyway, that with the Shop and Save store, grocery store, I can remember is that it's like you have it to where that go ahead. It's like you'll use a little bit. Right here is the blue mark, the blue writing. Say pen. It's like any particular name that I have for this pen, I think it will be the fine point. You say type pen it is, but right here I'm drawing right here is a design right here. Is right here is some windows, and let's just say that the entrance door. If the entrance door would be at about right here, it is where they have the entrance doors, where there would be like what you call some shopping centers at about right in here, and then right down there was Kmart. It was, and then whenever Kmart went out of business, I can remember that Kmart had gone out of business. It was, and they whenever they went out of business, they were in business for about 5 years until about say 1990. It was 1994 or something like that. Whenever they went out of business there, and then it was vacant for about 8 years until they decided to go ahead and move the Shop and Save store just right down the street there, and then they wind up making the I remember that they made it into like some type of hardware store it was, but where the old Shop and Save store was, but on your hand to knowing about that whenever you walk into the grocery store it is that I can remember, I guess you go and using like what you call is like the metallic purple right here, but you see right here is that walk into the grocery store that I can remember that this was back in like it would have been back about say March of 1993, 1994 it was, that whenever you walk to the doors, I'll go ahead and draw the doors at about right here, but you walk into the doors, the entrance doors would be at about right here. It was, you got the walk-in area. Most of us have been shopping at like what you call as Walmart, or if Office Depot is like, or it could be Target, any other stores. It is grocery stores, and in retail stores it is, and knowing about it's like the type of entrance stores that they have. It is whenever you first walk into the door, it was, I can remember that there was a video store right in here. It was, you got the video store at about right in here, and then from there it has like some shelves, it's like for video aisle is, but there was a video store about right in here, and right here was like the customer service counter. It was for any returns or anything like that. I can remember that counter right there. It's like you got the desk at about right here. It was, you got the return counter, and then right here would be like what you call, like I think a snack machine, and of course the lottery machine where you can buy lottery tickets. I can remember looking at that and just thinking about that somebody would put money in there, and then knowing that buy a lottery ticket. And I can remember I went up there and snatched one when I grabbed whenever it was coming out of the machine, and I can remember that told me, well, I like to play one of these and just scratch it off and see if I win anything. But on here, I remember reading the directions. You have to be 18 or older to play. But anyway, you got right here's the checkouts. But I remember that the video store was right here, and then they moved it into this part of the store right back in here that they built, refurnished a room about right in here, and then put the video store at about right in here, about right next to the customer service counter. It was whenever they put the video store right in there, and then they use this right here. It's like what you call is a place where you can bag your belongings. It was, and I can still remember that going into the grocery store was, and it's like knowing about that. Yeah, it's like it happened to me today actually at the gas station. That about after I pay for something and I wind up grabbing a receipt, but then I forget about almost. It's like talking about you don't want to forget this. It's like after you pay for it. So it's like that. Yeah, that a lot of people probably think about that knowing about if you're going to have a line of 2 or 3 people waiting behind you isn't just knowing about how much you're going to be in there. Because I remember whenever I went up to the gas station, of course it was earlier that I was paying for gas also. Went out there, it's like I was used to went up there quite a few times just to get gas. It was, and knowing about it, go ahead and get some donuts while I'm here. It is, and so I got the donuts, and then I think I even thought about maybe getting a candy bar, or maybe it's like maybe a drink, soft drink or anything like that. But on the other too, just got the donuts, and I can remember it's like hey, don't forget this. And so, but the memories about shopping say though that I can remember that once or twice that there'll be somebody in the line that would also help out with the cost of if I was short maybe a few cents on buying something. If I can remember, I used to buy the Reese's peanut butter cups, and then of course it was the Snickers bar. I think I would buy the Snickers bar a lot of times, and there would be somebody they would often help you out with some money, and then from there, and then going in there and then checking out, and then checking in, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, that you go in there and shop. But I can remember that it's like got the grocery list, and then of course it's like to talk about, it's like if you're going to be making a grocery list, and then of course milk, and then of course butter. I guess people think about it, it's like butter a lot of times is on the grocery list. It is. And then chips, it could be chips if you go in there to get some chips, maybe some OJ, I guess they call it, OJ for orange juice, and then of course a few other things that you would you'll get at the grocery store. It is, if it's apples or anything like that, it's like go ahead, it's like for apples. But if you get any type of grocery items, it is, I can remember riding, say, in the cart. Like if I go to the grocery store, it is, and go, you hop into the cart. I can remember that there was a place right on the bottom of the cart here. See, if the cart would you'd be like this right here, that I can remember that there was a place where on the very bottom the cart would form kind of like this right here, and then there was a place where you could put like what you call like a case of soda or anything like that on the bottom. And I can remember that again on the bottom of this I can remember a couple of times that didn't feel like walking around, so I would hop on the bottom there, and of course parents they would push me around. It was, and would go around in the store. It was, and of course I was pretty small enough to where I could I'd be able to fit underneath there, but of course I'm not that small now. But anyway, that it's like that with the safe shop is like knowing about with most of the time that they have it to where that if you were to get go shopping there. A lot of times they do like the coupon and they do the card. It's like you to save some money. It's like if you had a savings card. But right here, you got right here is the McDonald's right here, and I can remember that going in there and then having lunch a couple of times and going in there and like for an ice cream or anything like that. But just remember about going there, go shopping, saving in from there to McDonald's, and of course down the street. I'm trying to remember the name of the stores that were down there. I would probably say that they were like not a video store. I think one of them. I think there may have been a barber shop store, a barber shop in one of these shopping centers or something like that. Back at the time it was. But anyway, I can remember going in the shop and save and just knowing about that. The more you shop, the more you save. At Shop and Save. But you got the Shop and Save bag right here, and then that knowing about it's like that. I used to think about it's like go shopping at Shop and Save and knowing about how things you say add up in price it is. But on the other hand too, that knowing about is the memories for about how much things cost it is, and we are probably thinking about that. Going to the grocery store it is, and you think about is like that you get your experience and knowing about it's like go in there to the grocery store and buy what you need it is, because it's like nowadays they may have it to where you buy stuff online, whatever it is, and but on the other hand too, that knowing about it's like with the memories about the video store. I can remember walking into the video store, over there at the Shop and Save store, and knowing about that they say that that there would be an alarm that they would have that would go off if you were to bring the videotape inside the store. It was, and I can remember $1 a day is how much it would cost. I remember that at the video store it was $1 a day, to rent a movie. It was, and a lot of times that trying to get it back there on time was pretty hard. Of course, a lot of times people think, why not? Why was it so hard? Well, just depend on how long of a drive that you gotta do, just to go to the store, and of course is to bring it back. But a lot of times that I guess happens with about almost everybody, that after they rent a movie, then and they may forget about when it's due back or something like that. But now it's like if you were to rent a movie or if you were to rent a cart, it is, and just thinking about go to the grocery store it is, and that knowing about that the things that you would need to remember whenever you're going shopping it is knowing about maybe other than the way for whatever that you're buying it is, if it's what you call is like buying a package of meat, if it's pork chops or anything like that, or say stuff that you'll be putting on the grill it is, and just knowing about that I could probably say the first time I've ever shopped whenever I was young, I would probably say whenever I was at least 9 years old, if I can remember right, that it was to buy a candy bar. It was buy a candy bar, and I don't know if it was the Milky Way candy bar, or if it was the Baby Ruth, but if I can remember right, it was either a pack of gum or if it was a candy bar, and I can remember that I think it was about 73 cents, and then a couple of times I go in there and it'd be like 73 cents, but then of course they about almost everybody you pay taxes, and a lot of times that they would charge you like 32 cents or so for taxes it is. So it's like talk about with tax money it is like with taxes is that knowing about that you go in there and buy something and knowing about it, that's like they can really how old was I? Like how old was I whenever I first bought something? I'm trying to remember. But on the other hand too, that knowing about that talk about besides the lottery machines, and of course of knowing about it's like for how old you had to be in order to be able to rent a movie it is up there at the store, or maybe it's like whenever you're going to be returning anything, and just knowing about it's like talking about it's like the memories so far as for say shop memories color activity.